Bottomed out. We're here with my roommate slash band member slash friend slash cool person Crash.
Yo.
And Crash is a member of the Milwaukee punk scene here. We're gonna ask him a few questions about living in Milwaukee and stuff like that. How you got here and like a little bit about your background and stuff like that.
Okay.
So first, do you want to tell us where you're from and stuff like that? And yeah, where are you from?
I am from Salt Lake City, Utah. Yeah. SLC punk.
Sweet. What was the punk scene like there? Like, what got you into punk? What brought you there?
The SLC punk scene was pretty
Push it
dope.
over.
I had a lot of friends in high school
Mhm.
that were like doing DIY punk shows
Yeah.
that were really dope. So
Sweet.
I like met these, people who were like, "Yo, we're in a band and we're gonna play this show at this house. You should come to it,
Sweet.
hang out." And that's kind of what got me into it.
So what are you involved with now?
Now,
Yeah.
not much. I've done a lot since I've been in Milwaukee, but right now.
What bands have you done? Since you've been here? It started with Moded, right?
Yeah, I filled in for Moded for a hot sec. Shouts out to all
Good
those
tour.
homies.
Yeah. And interesting.
I love all of them.
Yeah, for sure. You moved here with them, right?
No, so two of the members in Moded were originally from where I'm from, and then so they moved out here, and then like they were living here for like a year, and then I moved out here or whatever. But
Oh, you were separate.
yeah,
Okay.
that was Casey and Val.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I moved out here a year after they were living here, I guess.
Did you and like because you replaced Casey, did y'all like musically? Which I mean, no, it was like it's whatever. It happens in bands. Like I feel like after getting to know both of y'all, that like music was, or not even. I mean, regardless, like music is obviously something that like people can relate to. What like, do you feel like music was a big like a means of bringing, because you and Val seem to have like similar music interests. Like I remember back in the day, you guys put me onto a lot of music and stuff like that, like good screamo. Like, how do you like? Do you feel like that? How do you feel about like that? Like, do you feel like that's like it plays like a big role in like friendship and like? If so, how so? Like how so?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, Casey was like one of the first people I met through like punk, like the whole punk scene and shit, and like he got me into like a lot of music that I still listen to now, and like I don't know.
Even hip hop too, right?
Yeah, even like some really like obscure like hip hop shit, like what's that hip hop group? Organized Confusion.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that was.
They're awesome.
I remember one time we were hanging out and we were listening to like a lot of like weird hardcore bands and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey was like, for some reason he wanted to like switch what we were listening to and like go to hip hop.
Yeah.
And he started like playing Organized Confusion. He's like, "You need to listen to this shit." And I'm like, "Okay." And
Nice.
he played it and it was like so aggressive. Like the shit that we were listening to at that moment was like really like intense and like, loud.
Yeah.
But then he put that on. But it's like such a different genre, but at the same time it was still like aggressive and like,
Yeah, resembled the same kind of intensity that like punk can have.
No, definitely, because it's like, it was like really in your face, and it was like, some of the shit that they were talking about was like real. It was like serious, like they were talking about real serious, like, I don't know, like social issues and shit like that.
Sure.
But like, yeah, I don't know. I forgot what we were talking about, but.
Okay, cool. You mentioned Casey. Do you feel like in the music that you've like made, has there always been like do you try to get a message across when you play punk music?
sometimes, I guess it depends what we're doing as a band, or like if I'm in a band, like depends like what we're going for.
Sure.
Because sometimes it's just like we're just making music because we're all friends and we all have similar tastes in music. But sometimes there's been times where we're like, I had friends who we would just like vent about shit, and like just like, I don't know, just bullshit talk about things,
And that
then
translates?
That translated into like I don't know, maybe we should just like start a band that expresses what we're feeling right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
For sure. I feel like we do that. I feel like a lot of times as people of color, like we talk about how much we hate white people, and that often is the subject matter in Andy Radical, our hip hop group.
I love talking shit about white people, but it's like it's not as serious as it might come off as. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think that specifically with that too, like it's like a coming of age thing. Like I don't fucking actually want to kill every white person I meet, but it's like when you grow up and you realize the effect that it plays and your actual role in society, and just kind of like that they're like almost that as much as you hate that stereotype, you're in a scene full of white people that you still love.
Yeah.
How it start like it just it is something that like hits you more as you grow up. So I think to like question that and like express your views on that kind of helps you clear it out. Like
definitely.
Do you
yeah.
Not do you agree, but I feel like
I've always been like the kid that stood out in like scenes and shit, because like I'm this colored kid who's also like a queer kid in the scene, and so like I'm always like the, I don't know,
token, I
guess. Yeah, like sometimes I felt like I was treated as like a novelty in like in certain situations or like scenes,
Yeah.
So, like, oh yeah, this is my one friend who's like, he's not white, and
dude,
he's,
totally. This was like the one back where I grew up, like a suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we are right now. My friend, my nickname was or like they would just call me Token. Like my first big group of friends, they'd be like, "What's Token doing? Bye Token, hi Token." And I didn't even get it for like 3 months. I was like, "Why are you calling me that?" They're like, "Oh, you're the token black person."
They probably. Do you think that they got that too?
What?
Do you think that they like understood that too, or do you think that was just like a random?
Well, no, I think they like saw it was on I think a lot of people, like the kid around, like one kid started calling me that, and then the rest of the kids did not know actually.
Yeah.
Why until like
so just a one person.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just stoked to have a nickname. I was like, shit. I don't know what this means either. This is cool. Cool. How do you feel about that? Like you said, you like described it as being a novelty before. Like, do you mean that in like a way of like being like a degrading way, or like a way that like bothered you, or like a way that's like how does being seen as such like identify with you?
I mean, for a while, like it definitely bothered me.
Sure.
To the point where like I didn't want to make music or like really wanted to be involved.
Really?
In like the music scene.
When was this?
Kind of when I was like falling out of like the Salt Lake scene and like coming here too, where it was just like, I don't know. I feel like I've definitely had like a lot of times where I've had that experience, Yeah. And like just didn't I had these feelings and like didn't find an interest in wanting to do all that shit, but
for sure. Definitely. Like expression, like playing music?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was just, I don't know, it was a weird thing for me, so like yeah.
Definitely. How do you feel, like, let's talk tour, how do you feel about touring and stuff like that? In the band, tour life.
I love it.
Cool.
Yeah. I love traveling.
Yeah.
That shit's the best. I don't know. That's
what got you to move here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I love traveling, and then being able to travel and like also play music and like meet other people who are like doing the same shit that I'm doing in like different cities. That's always cool. Like I've met a lot of great friends that I'm still friends with now from like touring and whatnot.
Cool.
You know?